Log into gyroscopeme.com, the hottest online radio station in the world. GS Radio all day, all night, worldwide. Powered by Gyroscope Media Group, LLC.
GS Radio, the best internet radio station worldwide. Providing the best in music and talk shows. Go to www.gsradionj.com and check out the best internet station in the world. You're listening to GS Radio Internet Radio Station powered by GMG, LLC.
In the beginning there was Jack, and Jack had a groove. And after a while, a deep sleep fell upon him, and he went looking for a new groove. He began looking for a new nation, and it had to be a soulful nation. And he found it, and it was Soulful House Nation. And he saw a building. It was a tall building. It had 10 stories, and he entered the building and got on the elevator and pushed the 10th floor, but it stopped on the 8th floor. And that's where he found his new groove. And he began to jack and jack and jack and jack. And he knew that this was it. It was Soulful House Nation on the 8th floor. Get ready, get ready, get ready.
Today, just want to introduce myself, but also to our co-host is Lorena. So listen, here's a quick thing here. When you get a chance, go back and check out the last interview we did. That was with Curtis McLean. He's the actual person who sung on Marshall Jefferson's "Move Your Body." I mean, most people know it as Marshall Jefferson, but he was not the artist. The artist that sang was Curtis McLean. We just did an interview with him 2 weeks ago, prior to the holiday. We're going to play the hottest song according to Track Source, the Soulful House category. Talk a little bit about what's coming. Play classic, and then the high point of this thing is going to be our interview with DJ Kevin McAlister. So, Cha, just play a snippet of the our song of the #1 song according to Track Source. But before I do that, just want to give a big shout out, a posthumous shout out to Chuck Roberts, who did our vocal drop. Then also too want to give a big shout out to King T Finesse and Ariel Shante for our theme song. You can see us right now on the front end, Facebook, YouTube, Vimeo, X, and the website. But on the back end, we'll also have Spotify and Audible and quite a few other places. So, all right, Chuck, can you just give us a little snippet of the #1 song according to Track Source? But note that we'll only play a little snippet because Facebook's a nasty little habit of shutting us down and muting us out. Chuck, let's do it. This song is Ralphie Rosario and Eric Cuppers, called Take Me Up. Okay. All right, so we're going to keep it moving. Having trouble with the file. So here's what I'm going to do right now. I want to just give you a few updates. This Friday night, I will be playing along with DJ Cool Lou, who's bringing me on board, at Bravo's in EO on Central Avenue. So I'm really excited about that. And also, too, if there's any birthdays, any celebrations, anniversaries, somebody's happy because they got getting married, somebody's happy because they're getting divorced, whatever your reason, we want to...
Congratulations.
And celebrate, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we want to come celebrate with him. Anyway, I want you to come celebrate. All right, then, then a couple other things that I just want to share with you. I had a chance to go the weekend, Memorial Day weekend, I guess that was. I had a chance to go to a few events. I went to the one that was done by Cafe Z. That's with Tony Green and Soulful Messiah was playing. Raheem House Music was playing. When I got there was another also DJ playing, so I got a chance to see those two, so that was fire. Then I left from there and I went to Rawway down by Big Phil and his group, and I had the chance, when I got there, Soul Fingers was on, so I don't even have to tell you what that was. So it was all good. It's a great weekend, and now we are where we are. So also too, Brian Gouldsby has started up his his backyard events, and call it Club 257. So congratulations on that, and he brings out a nice crowd. So that's it on that. Yeah, so it's a little update here. Now, next week, our special guest is DJ Bukeem, and after that, we got a couple more surprises, and happy Juneteenth, and I want to tell you, we got some good stuff lined up. So, and I'm super excited about today's guest because he's done a lot of stuff. But Chuck, just play just a little snippet of our old school song today, and then we're gonna get right to the interview. There we go. This one, of course, you'll recognize. As soon as you heard the first sound on it, you knew what it was. Okay. Okay. By show of hands, how many recognize this song?
Let's hear it.
Okay. Don't you hear it yet? Okay. Can you hear it?
No.
Okay, no wonder.
Can you hear it again?
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, the name of the song is called, well, let's go. We're going to fade it out. The name of the song was Kano, I'm Ready. How many remember that
wow.
now?
Oh, okay.
Okay. That's a track that they were playing before they called it house, when they were calling it club music. So I can remember many times and DJing this and extending that clap until the people started clapping. And anyway, so listen, ladies and gentlemen, I'm super excited to be here. Our special guest today is DJ Kevin McAlister. Now, I just want to share something with you, all right?
Yeah.
Yeah, if I may. Kevin is the consummate professional. I mean, he's up to date with his equipment. He's up to date with his look. He's up to date with the way he brings the thing in and his videos. I mean, really, 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 really professional. And we're going to have a good conversation. So, Kevin, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. We have some mutual friends, you know. I know you know Henry. Henry
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Hey, quick question for you, Dan. Is this being streamed live on Facebook?
yes, it is. So,
On which page?
well, if you go to, it's on under Soulful House Nation. If you go
Okay.
there, it's there. Or if
Got
you
it.
type in in a minute or two, you'll go under mine.
I was trying, Kevin. I was trying. I couldn't. I was trying.
Okay. Yeah, so you get it there, and then I'm going to also share it to my page, Dan Shiver. So
Yeah, that's where I was looking. I was looking at your page.
Yeah. So we're gonna stream that in a moment, so you'll see that very shortly. So yeah, well, anyway, yeah, but go to Soulful House Nation is there right now, and then we'll get this going here. So it's super exciting.
Yeah. Bear with me for asking because I got a few
No,
folks
we're good.
texting me who want to watch.
We're good. All right, we are good. So, all right. Well, listen, let's start with the easy stuff while we get that up on my page here. Just tell us a little bit about you, your firm, your background, that kind of good stuff like that.
Well, there isn't much to tell.
Okay.
So, father of three, DJing for more than 25 years, retired corporate guy.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, that's the headline.
Okay. So, well, that kind of explains why you have a very, very professional and corporate look too. Because I've seen your setups, but we've actually met live too. Now, where are you from originally?
Plainfield. I mean, I actually was, but believe it or not, I was born in Linden.
Oh, Linden.
But
Okay.
moved out of Linden when I was 5. So
Okay. Interesting.
Plainfield is home.
Okay. All right. Well, interesting because my sister lives in Linden, and she, like me, is originally from Patterson. So, all right. Now, how did you first get started with music?
My brother started DJing. He's a few years older than me.
Okay.
So he started DJing, and then I would just go in the basement and, mess around, see what I can pick up, see what I can do. And then he heard me some months later. He was like, dude, I think you're ready to go out.
Uh-oh.
So that's how it all began. Kind of the typical story of basement DJs and going from there.
Okay. Fantastic.
You're only 30 years old, right, Kevin?
Okay, I'll go with that. Thank you.
Reminds me of me, young Dan. Anyway, now, how about some of your early music influences? Who was? If you hear me.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Yeah,
Say it again.
who were some of your early music influences?
It wasn't. I was always attracted to a good party, dancing. Our people. We always try to outdo our friends in our dance moves and stuff like that. So, yeah, I love Stevie Wonder, but as far as influences, a good song is a good song, even if it's a one-hit wonder.
Okay, got you. Well,
Good answer. Good answer. Yeah, I like that answer.
Yeah. Now, what made you want to become a DJ instead of just enjoying the music like most people do?
Well, like I said, I always enjoyed a good party, but my brother, he actually took me out to a venue he used to play at in Cranford, New Jersey.
Okay.
And then folks were we were set up in a back room, which you would get very narrow view of the dance floor, but we could see it. And I'm back there, and then people started coming back there after about 15 minutes, like, dude, who is that?
Okay.
It's my little brother.
Oh wow.
And let's be honest, people coming to admire whatever kind of work you're doing, in this case DJing. Yeah, it has a certain appeal, attraction. It's like, I like this.
Yeah.
Well, I could tell you for me, really what started me on music were my two aunts. Aunt Seal and Aunt Bert, and they were up to date. So like my parents were like, how can I explain it? Like they didn't know about contemporary music. Like they would have known about Michael Jackson only because he was in the news, not because they listened to that music. Now Aunt Bert and Aunt Seal would have listened to that kind of music. They would know them. They would know R. Kelly. They would know Usher. They would know that kind of stuff. And that's who I kind of flowed with. They were my original and initial introduction into music. So it's interesting that, how you came about it. Now, how about this? Who were some of your first DJ influences? I know you mentioned your brother. Was there anybody else that you listened to?
Oh, that's endless.
Okay.
so it's endless because, when I think about when I got out of high school, obviously I was driving at the time, so used to go to New York clubs, went to all the clubs in Essex County. So there were just a lot of different guys, and that's the thing that I really love about DJing. There's just a lot of guys out there and gals now that can play, and I love it. I love it. Let's do a good DJ. So, when I got to Zanzibar and I heard Tony Humphrey, I was like, wow. Then I go over to Club 88 and I hear DJ Burt, Lionel Burt, and I'm like, it's like, oh, this guy. And then you go home and you see if you can emulate it or duplicate it somehow.
Yeah.
And the thing that was fascinating was the systems in these big clubs versus being at a local bar in my neighborhood. The record just did not sound the same. It did not sound the same if it was not on a good system. It was crazy to me.
Okay, so along those lines, so like when I do the Shazam Free Zone, I listen to the songs on my computer, and so I kind of pick the ones that I think you don't want to hear. They're not always perfect, but so many times when I bring it here in the studio and kick that bass in, it's a whole different thing. And I was like,
yes.
Wait a minute, hold it. This is hotter than I thought.
Yes.
Yeah. So, Lorena, why don't you jump in for a minute?
See, Poppy, of course. Of course. DJ Kevin McAlister, it's a pleasure to meet you, sir.
Yeah, pleasure to meet you as well.
Thank you. Now, did you do something big over the weekend?
This past weekend?
Yes.
You mean did I throw an event or did I just DJ event?
Were you involved in an event?
Yeah, let me see. Friday, what was I Friday? Friday was a repass. Saturday, I was with the Valerie's Adam Band in Parsippany with the with the fraternity, the Omega Psi Phi.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then Sunday, I did an all-white birthday party at the Westwood in Garwood.
Nice. Sounds very nice.
But the week before, I had my annual. I had some DJ events. I did a wedding anniversary, and another birthday party. But I also did my annual cookout, which was Western style, and it was.
Did you get your invite, Dan? I don't remember my invite. Did you get yours, Dan?
Let's keep it moving.
Hey, Dan, I think I just walked into that one, didn't I?
Yeah. That's right.
It's all love here, Kev. It's all love here. My first question for you is, how did house music become part of your DJ programming?
Like I was saying a couple minutes ago, when I was going to, in my 20s, going up to Zanzibar, Club 88, Sensation, Cheetah Club. I mean, the list goes on. It was just
Club
amazing.
America.
Yeah. I actually played in Club America for about 6 months, but it's just amazing. It was an amazing time, late 80s and throughout the 90s.
It was.
That was an amazing time.
It was the best. I was getting into clubs in the city at 16 and 17 years old.
With your fake IDs. I got you. But now you got to have a real ID. Anyway. Okay. Anyway.
Was everything. Nels in the city was everything.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Have you played it, Nels?
No, but that's where I first heard the song Hot Music by SOULFUL.
Really? Soho? Okay.
Yes, it was Nels.
Okay.
It was Nels. I couldn't believe it.
Yes, I love it. So you play more than house music, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about the other styles of music that you do play.
Oh God, that's a long list. There's hip hop, R&B, reggae, Afro beats, amapiano, pop music, EDM, compa. It's the list just goes soft rock, classic rock. It just goes on and on.
I love rock. I love diversity in music. I grew up listening to every style of music.
Right.
All my family members. On Saturday morning, my mother turned the music up loud and said, "Okay, let's go. You've got the kitchen, you've got the bathroom, you've got the living room. Let's go." And the music helped us clean. It helped us every Saturday. I think in almost every black household. That went on.
No, I hear you. I hear you.
What about your household?
I'm sorry, say it again.
What about your household?
My household, I certainly share in this house needs to be cleaned and get your chores done. But being that there was no way around getting your chores done, I would have my chores done by 10 o'clock and I'd be out the door. Or I'd be playing my music.
Okay.
I was up early at 7 because, again, there was no way around not doing your chores.
Exactly.
So I just kind of let me just nail it so I can hit the streets.
Okay, that says a lot about your personality too, Kevin. Yes. So, Kevin, I knew you know classic, current artists. Tell me who some of your favorite current and classic artists are. Start with the classics first.
Well, like I said before, for me, I really didn't have a favorite artist here, today or yesteryear. I really didn't. I mean, I really do like Stevie Wonder, but I really do like just good music. It didn't matter to me where it came from. It just didn't.
Okay. Let me rephrase that question because I really want an answer.
Okay.
Okay.
Who's your favorite house music artist? If you could name one, who would it be? And who would you name as your classic music artist?
Well, I would put them both in today and classic would be DJ Spin and Louis Vega.
Stop everything. Stop everything. All right?
Great answer.
Hold on a minute. Stop everything.
Say what now?
Those are my exact two personal favorites.
Stop it.
I'm dead serious. Matter of fact, I wanted to interview DJ Spen, and I got the opportunity to do it. Now I just have Louis Vega, and then I'll be done with that stuff. All right? I'll throw some Kenny Dope in there.
Dan, you remember we ran into each other in Baltimore just a little over a year ago.
Yes.
Because Louis Vega was the special guest DJ with Spin, was doing something in Baltimore. We ran into you down there.
Yes.
Make sure you guys show me the picture that you guys took, okay?
Okay, you'd have to dig.
We got it.
Make sure you show it to me, okay?
Okay. All right. Oh, goodness.
Here's a serious question, and a powerful question. If you could do anything powerful, or if you could do a powerful gesture to elevate or influence the house music community, what would it be?
Oh, that's easy for me. Marketing. I think the house music community it's believe it or not, when I get a couple counties outside of Essex County, there's very little house music, if any at all, I can
Right.
play. And it's only because it's not known. It's not that the music isn't good. It's great music, but
It
it's
is.
just not known, and it's not on anyone's radar because it's not being played like popular music is being played. I do have a lot of success playing R&B house because it's like bridging the gap.
Right.
They're familiar with that song, but now I got this house music flavor onto it. So people they're attracted to that. But if I could do one thing for house music, I would do such a powerful marketing campaign because it's great music. It's just, fairly unknown because people they're not hearing it. It's just not in a lot of communities.
Facts with a Z. Facts with a Z.
That's all it is. It's just not out there enough. That's all.
This is true.
Before we go to the next question, I just want to just go a little bit deeper, park right there for a minute if we can. I've often said, first of all, the goal of this show is to take house music, our style of house music, to the public. And I don't know how many times I've been in a group of people who don't know or they have no idea of house music. And it's funny because I hear, I hear people say, and I'm looking right at her in my mind, instead of saying soulful house, what about that soul house music? I said, no, sweetie, it's soulful house. I mean, but you're absolutely right. It's kind of like this is a big secret with a certain group of people, and I haven't seen a real, I'm going to say, campaign to take this to the public. Because I believe if they hear it, they'll like, not in every song. Just like everybody's into hip-hop, doesn't like every hip-hop song, doesn't like every hip-hop art. Like my nephews are hardcore.
What they're saying.
Yeah, hardcore hip-hop guys. And they also rap, have done videos. And and Will Smith just came out with a new track. All right.
He did.
And I said this thing. I said to him. I emailed it to him. Not email. I texted him. I said, listen, yes or no. And they were like, they're not really feeling Will Smith. Now he may go over for the. They don't.
What did you send him the one he did with Tatiana?
No. This is another one
Hard
I just
time?
came out with. Let me see if I can dig it up. Well, all right, let me dig it up another time. But I just sent it to them. But the point is, it wasn't so much. Like if I would have said that was Biggie, they probably would have said I'm on it. But you know how with artificial intelligence you could do that now, and I have you rapping, Kevin, and also doing country. Anyway, but
But let me say again. Let me throw out two good examples, especially for folks who are watching.
Yes.
There are 21 counties just in New Jersey. And New Jersey's not a big state.
Right.
And I know we like to say Jersey is house music. Jersey is not all house music.
Right.
Once you get a couple counties outside of Essex County, there's a significant drop in what you can play. So again, there's 21 counties. Then you need to think about all the free marketing some of this latest hip hop gets, or today's hip hop, I'll say, because when you go to some commercials, especially with sporting events, half the time they're playing a hip hop song. But they never play a soulful house song.
Right.
So again, I want to emphasize, if I had the opportunity, and it would be a great financial one, to put together a marketing campaign, a serious marketing campaign for a house.
Right.
I love it.
Yeah.
Great answer, Kevin. Thank you.
Yeah, and I would say to you, I would argue that our artists are just as talented as the pop and mainstream people. I would argue that our producers are just as good or better. I would argue that the way people feel like moving when they hear that music is just as good or better. And I totally agree with you that the whole thing is the marketing. This is what I will tell you, and then I'll move on to the next question. I can't tell you how many people since I've been doing this show and doing these things have come to me and said, I didn't know anything about this music. And have come out to events and say, wait a minute, hey, wait a minute. Look at my head. Leave my head alone. I'm sorry. My head, but they don't know about it and they don't hear about it consistently. So I'm in total agreement with you on that. So, yeah, good. How about this? So you really have been into this from the door. From your perspective, where is house music headed?
Well, I mean, I don't see it. Maybe it's just me. Mm-hmm. I do a lot of homework. I go out to events, house and non-house events. I certainly cover reviewing a lot of things I see on the net, social media. Again, house as well as non-house. I see it kind of like just kind of steady going where it's at. I don't see any big gains. And again, that's just from my line of sight. I may not have a complete line of sight. I know a lot of folks, when I get into this discussion, folks always bring up Europe.
Right.
Well, they like our music overseas. Well, that's all well and fine. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I haven't been over there, to be honest. I'm gonna be upfront and honest. I haven't been over there. I don't know. So I'll usually end up saying, for argument's sake, okay, I agree with you.
Okay.
Overseas like our music a lot. What does that do for us over here for growing it?
Right.
I like somebody to answer that question. I don't see it.
Okay, I'm gonna give you the answer. That's your answer.
Was that your warming up?
Yeah. Well, hey, let me give a shout out to Shawanda. Thank you for joining us. Welcome back to the United States of America. By the way, she's got a show coming up.
Hey, guys.
Yeah.
Hey.
And so check them out. And they're doing a great job with Dolce's and also too there are other things that they're doing. So they create a whole ecosystem around what they're doing. So big shout out to them. Her and Guy. Stan Johnson, another playing fielder, is in the house. All right. Okay. Now, do you produce music or have plans to dive into that at some point?
Well, that's a funny story.
Okay.
I'm probably not typical here again.
Okay.
Some years ago, I went out and bought a device. I won't even mention what it is.
Okay.
But I'm going to produce music. Brought it home. I stared at that machine for a week. It did nothing.
Really?
Couldn't figure it out. I don't know. Maybe I don't have the special to just kind of just intuitively deal with it. So I ended up taking it right back to the store. So here's your question. No, the most I do is, do I have some of my own edits that I've done? Yes, I have quite a bit of that. But other than that, no. Have I actually done production? Absolutely not. And big shout out to all the guys who do it, because they, certainly no one's born with it. And you can't go down to Quick Check and buy a bottle of Blue Water and all of a sudden you magically have that capability of doing it. So Those guys put in some serious work and they do some good stuff.
Hey, Kevin, we have too much in common here. I have Ableton Live, the full version. I have Logic. I have Native Instruments. GarageBand came with my laptop. And, I said it, and the one was really, maybe I can make a beat, maybe not that great. But you know what it is? You really gotta just like at some point in the beginning when we learned how to DJ, we devoted hours and hours and days and days and days to it. And it's the same thing. And it's like, I've never done it, but I'm closer than I was yesterday.
Well, you're a lot further along than I am. I'm not close. Remember when Apple came out with GarageBand?
Oh, yes.
So that was my second attempt to try to get it. Failed.
Okay.
Can't do it.
Right.
Not me. Yeah.
I'm going to tell you what. But this year, I'm doing it.
Go for it, Dan. We all know the invitation.
Yeah. This year I get it done. Kevin, what's up? Hey, I see also that Mark Francis was here. Mark Francis.
Hey, Mark Francis.
Hey.
Yeah, dope DJ.
What's up, dude?
Dope producer. You know what he told me? He says, Dan, he says that if you don't learn how to do that, there's people who know how to do it, and you can tell them what you're hearing in your head, and they can go and make that. So that's maybe an option for us, Kevin. Anyway.
Well, that's well.
That sounds
I guess you'll take that option, Dan, after you figure out your next attempt, as you just said a minute ago. I'm going to go immediately and take the Mark Francis option.
Okay.
All right.
Wow. Well, you get a lot of corporate gigs and non-house music events. Now, how do these compare to the house music events? Do you have a favorite type of crowd or vibe?
Which one do you prefer?
Well, the one thing that stands out is money.
It's a little thing.
Hey.
Let me just say something too. All right, I hear a lot of
people
say that, hey, listen, no, I don't do it for the money. Of course you don't. There's no money. I mean, number one, but the other thing I would say.
Well, big shout out to all the people who don't want to do it for money. I am too old to be out there doing anything for no money. Them days have long been gone.
Yeah.
Okay.
But to kind of go into a little more detail about the differences, I think one of the only differences, because regardless of what stage you're on, house, non-house, for me, and this is my strategy, there's something that attracts and appeals to people musically to make them want to dance.
Right.
So whatever it is, I'm always looking to figure that out and be good at it. But the only other thing that the difference between house and non-house is, non-house, especially the corporate gigs, there's different people from different walks of life. So I tend to see more opportunities to do more things when I do corporate events. It's amazing. Like Dan, one of the other places that we recently ran into each other at, I was doing the African American Chamber of Commerce.
Yes.
Now I could tell you all at the chamber, their core business is bringing black business minds together. They are not about throwing parties.
Right.
But the people who come there, if you appeal to them as a DJ, they are throwing some unbelievable parties.
Right.
So I go in with this strategy. Even though there ain't no dance floor, there's chairs all over the place because it's more of a meeting of business minds. I'm trying to appeal to them with my smooth R&B or my smooth R&B jazz, just so they can look at me and be, yo, give me your card, dude. I like the way you're grooving.
Right.
And that's my mindset, my strategy for when I do events like that.
Anyway, just so folks, listen, I was teasing there's no money in it. There's money in it, but it's from my perspective, like I do corporate stuff. Yes, I did a corporate thing. I did actually with the volunteer organization Rotary. I did stuff with them and in Fairlawn. And, that was not a house crowd. But I will get parties out of it. And I understand, I really understand that. You're like yesterday, I was playing rock and roll. I was playing dance music. I was playing 80. I looked at the crowd, and they were mostly in their 50s in that range. So I played a lot more 80s stuff and things of that nature. Of course, Michael Jackson, that kind of stuff like that. But what's interesting about it is that just because you play one style of music and that's what people see, does not mean that you've got this open set repertoire that you can't unleash on them at any given time. You know, so yeah, so you make a lot of sense here.
Yeah, it's interesting when people, you know, because I think most of us DJs, when we're somewhere, we kind of say, "This is where I'm at," things like that. So sometimes people see me if I'm doing a senior citizen event, they'll be like, "Easy money." Or I'm doing a corporate event, easy money. Let me tell you guys something. Nothing is easy money.
Right.
If you really want to be noticed about what you're doing. Doesn't matter what the stage is. It really doesn't. You never know who's in the room.
You never know.
Who's listening. And who could pick you up or pass you along to someone. Me and Roz Anthony did a wedding about a week ago. And now we're being invited to do a wedding in Miami.
Okay, now.
You never know who's in the room.
You never know.
Exactly.
You never know. Yeah. So let me ask you a question. You mentioned marketing earlier. This kind of popped into my head just now. Like, how did you get started doing events, and then like, what do you do marketing wise now? I mean, obviously you get referrals and things, people see you, but is there intentional marketing going on versus word of mouth? And I just want to say something about word of mouth. See, here's what a lot of people don't see. Word of mouth is good. The problem with word of mouth is that you can't predict when Kevin's going to call me and say, "Hey, listen, I want to do an event." You can't, and then you can't duplicate that, make that word of mouth thing happen again next week. So that can really lead to a lot of ups and downs as far as work. So again, my question to you is it all word of mouth? Is it, do you have an intentional marketing program going, or how do you continue? How'd you get started? Then how do you continue to generate business? Put it that way.
That's actually a very good question. And I believe when it comes to the DJ market, I believe it's more of an 80-20 rule. 80% of it is going to be word of mouth.
Gotcha.
And let me explain what I've been experiencing. If you are really good at an event, people are going to talk about you. Doesn't matter if you're talking house or non-house.
Right.
People are going to talk about you. When you look at our people, and I'm talking specifically black people, I'll get on to the other folks later, but particularly black people, when it comes to DJs, either the person experienced you in a good way, and they're going to reach out to you. Not to say the person is going to have an event every week, but they are going to reach out to you. And probably others also who experienced you. But people who haven't experienced you are going to go to their trusted friend or family member. Who should I get as a DJ? Your name's going to come up. But that means you never know who's in the room.
Right.
So you really need to always be putting your A+ game. Now, am I sitting here saying Kevin McAlister knocks it out of the fence, over the fence every time I go out? No, I don't. But I learn from those. I take all of those things that don't go well as a learning to get better. Our people are 80% of our people are only going to get DJs they've experienced in a good way, or you came highly recommended.
Right.
Now let's talk about the other folks.
Okay.
Other folks, you can kind of flip that. They're going to look at your marketing game. Like when it comes to like white people, they're going to look at your marketing game. They don't follow DJs like black people do. They just don't. But it doesn't mean you're not going to win them over if you show up and, for lack of a better way of saying it, show out.
Gotcha.
They do have high value on people who provide good service. And that's the bottom line. And you guys, as well as everybody who may be watching, why do you pick Tide over ShopRite brand laundry detergent?
Gotcha.
It's as basic as that, because you're going to get that quality.
Right.
And you're never going to go away from that as long as that quality has consistency.
You just said a mouthful. Didn't even realize it. You said a mouthful, baby.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's probably the plainest example I can give you.
Okay.
People will always go for quality, and people will pay more for quality.
Right. Hey, listen. Again, something just popped into my head. Sometimes people remember you and because something you did, you mentioned that the experience. So, okay, so last year, no, it was in 2023. I got a phone call from a lady, and her daughter was getting married. Now, I DJ'd her wedding 18 years ago, prior to that. 18, 19, something like that. And her phone number rang in my phone. I said, I wonder who this is. I answered the phone, and it was her. She says, don't you remember? So I pretended like I did remember her. Anyway.
People do that.
She said, you did my wedding, that time was like 18 years ago. I said, yeah, that's right. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, Annette, he's not the only one who faked the funk about trying to remember a past client. So, go ahead, Dan. Go ahead.
But it gets better. She says, my daughter's getting married, and I told her she needs to go with you. Now, here's what happened with the recommendation, but here's what I thought about in terms of doing business, and I know better. So I say to myself, well, I didn't keep in touch with her. It's like we had a great time, a great event, and we were just all lovey-dovey at the time, and that's it. That was it. But just imagine if I would have kept in touch with her, how many events she could have referred me to. Just think about how many weddings she could have referred to me. And then plus I'm in the real estate business. That's where I make, that's where I make my real money. And, I own a real estate company. And how many people had she known over the 18 years that were buying and selling real estate? Just look at that. So sometimes the answers are like right in our, like in the old days we had like black books and stuff where we kept information. Now we got the cell phones, the modern day Rolodex. And I just having a conversation not too long ago. I said, there's millions and millions of dollars in our Rolodexes. and
But Dan, you raise an excellent point for marketing. And again, my stuff is referral. I've been telling myself I'm coming out of DJing, given my age. I've been saying that for my friends don't even want to hear me say it anymore because dude, you've been saying it for 10 years. So I actually beyond referrals, I don't even post on social media, book me, here's my number, here's my email. I stopped that like 2 years ago.
Gotcha.
You raise an excellent point though, because if you look at some of these business strategies from corporations and stuff, you guys probably have the same shared experience that you get a birthday card or a Christmas card from the last car dealership that you dealt with.
Right.
Just to let them know you're still there. So there are marketing strategies that people could use that keeps other folks, past clients, aware of them that they're still out there.
Right.
And I think it's great because a lot of people also be like, dude, how do you get all these weddings that you do? Because I do about 20 weddings a year. And Dan, I get the same phone call. The young people don't know me.
Right.
It's their parents that are calling me. So when you think about that, think about the fact that, again, as I'm getting older, there's a generation behind me that do not know me because I've made no kind of attempts to be relatable to them as a DJ.
Right.
So I'm just picking up some legacy residuals.
Right.
But that's gonna eventually die out.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah.
It will.
Well, again, and you know the sad part about it, Kevin, it's not like we don't know this. It's not like we don't know this. And me, I only publicly admit to being 26 years old. So anyway, I think I've mentioned this. Oh,
Kevin's only 30.
Why is he laughing?
So.
I understand. Anyway, so my daughter said to me, Daddy, she says, listen, how can you be 26 and I'm older than you? And she said, and I said, that's easy. I said, you believe in God? She said, yep. I said, see, right there, that's a miracle. Anyway.
Yeah. Let's move on.
Okay.
Hey, Joanna, how you doing? Stephen Craig. How you doing, sir?
Stephen Craig, what's up, dude?
Hey, guys.
Well, what's on the horizon for you that we should be looking for?
Well, I mean, I have a lot of different stuff. I do a lot of private events. I think everybody who knows me know I'm not a resident DJ.
Right.
I threw my hat out in that arena over 20 years ago, probably even longer than that. I don't look to be a resident DJ, and that is not a knock on anybody who does resident DJ. I'm just at a point where I value the variety of music. So when you ask what's on the horizon for me, I have weddings lined up. I have birthday parties lined up. I have other corporate gigs lined up. All of this is tracking to, for me, I do like about 125 gigs a year.
Okay, now that's right.
So,
Yeah. Quick question: do you do more corporate gigs than house music gigs?
it's an interesting question because it really depends what area I'm in to how much house I can play.
Right.
So I could do a corporate gig or even a wedding, but if I'm outside this area, it pretty much won't be any house. If I'm in this area, yeah, there's going to be some house in there.
Gotcha.
But certainly, all the non-house gigs I do are variety of music. It's not just one style of music or one genre of music.
Right.
So you're like Dan, you do the other side of the tracks.
I do a lot. I do quite a few parties every
I'm not sure where you're going with that. Let me think a minute.
Hold on.
Yeah.
So Dan always says yes because I also play on the other side of the tracks.
Okay. Well, to give you an idea, I mean, so for example, on Friday I'm going to be at
Corporate gigs?
Huh? Yeah.
Are you referring to?
Well. Look at it this way. I'm not sure how you would classify a wedding, but the wedding I did last week was a black woman who married a Haitian man. They were both in their late 30s, but it was in this area, so they got some house music. But they also got go-go music. They got compa, which is Haitian music.
Yes.
They met each other at Howard University, so there was go-go music.
Okay. Absolutely watching.
Early, there was early 2000s, 90s, there's reggae. So it was a lot of flavors being delivered at that wedding.
That's not what I meant, but great answer. Thank you, DJ Kev.
Wait a minute. So what did you mean?
She meant, did you play the white
Now,
folks?
if you... Okay. So she said the other side of the tracks is like, yo, you was the white people.
Okay.
Why can you just say that?
Okay. Alrighty.
Oh, by the way, to answer your question, yeah, I do that too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, we do it all. You do it all, Kev. Yes, you do it all.
I try to.
Well, you
Love it.
It's all green at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'll tell you the truth too. For me, I play on both sides of the tracks. I play more on the other side of the tracks. But I will tell you that I can play sets of anything. I did this event, and they were a Middle East country. It was started with an A. I'm going to say it, but it's probably not right. It was I'm going to say Azerbaijan or whatever it was, and I did that event. But what I did, I got if you know how to mix beats, then there's no issue. So I got a whole bunch of their music. I lined it up in the way that I felt that had the most energy. I played it and hit. Then I did an Albanian wedding, and I did the introductions. And this guy came over to me, but I write it out phonetically so I could pronounce it, right? So this guy comes and says, "Well, where'd you learn to speak Albanian?" I said, "Well, anyway. So then I learned a few buzzwords and did it like that. But I think if you know like basics like programming, which is the number one issue when you're playing for a crowd, even if you don't have your beats right. I know a guy, I've known him, I know a guy that's been DJing for at least 40 years. I don't think he ever hit a mix yet. But his programming is like, forget about it. He plays the right music. And yeah, so yeah, going back to that, I mean, when you
I guess for me, partly of what you said is, you know, for whatever genre of music you want to play, or whatever multiple genres of music you want to play, you have to do your homework to stay on top of that music. I could tell you there are several guys that you know, certainly there's demand for me to DJ for the same day. There's a few guys I can call who have all the world of confidence. These guys know how to DJ, and we actually share music that's outside of the black urban market or house music. Mm-hmm. We know that stuff like the back of our hand. So we kind of challenge ourselves. Well, what don't we know? Mm-hmm. And there's nothing technically these guys can't do when it comes to DJing. Mm-hmm. Technically, beat matching, blending perfectly, understand timing of in and out of songs, dropping on the one, scratching it. There's nothing you could teach these guys. Mm-hmm. It's more of the challenge of, okay, those people got green money too, and sometimes more of it. Mm-hmm. How do we make ourselves valuable in front of them? And it's really just about knowing their music. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So this is where we challenge ourselves, the few guys that I'm talking about. And there's a whole host of guys out here who can DJ. Technically, there's nothing you can teach them. Mm-hmm. There's some guys who can't play house because they don't live in this area. Mm-hmm. But there's nothing technically you can teach them about blending. Mm-hmm. They got it. Mm-hmm. They just need to be aware of the music and what songs to play in the house music area. And get this, Dan, and you know this. Mm-hmm. House music slightly changes if you're in Atlanta, Baltimore, Chicago, New York, and New Jersey. Yes. Changes.
Yes. Preach, brother, preach. Listen, you should be passing out a plate right now after that sermon. Again, I want to just share this with you, all right? So I do quite a few gigs a year on the mobile side, and even on the house music side. And like I do this show every week, and then I do it on Fridays. I do it here. After this, I do the Shazam Free Zone. I play nothing but brand new music. Then on Fridays from 4 to 6, I play a combination of new. I keep it on a newer edge, but even I'm doing a thing on Friday with Cool Lou. Well, I can I play off the top of my head? Of course I can. Can I walk in blind and do it? Of course I can. But why would I? When I got an opportunity to prepare. So I hear guys say, "Oh yeah, I don't plan anything. I just do." Stop it. You know what? You have. I don't care if this guy, no reference to man or woman, says, "Hey, listen, I don't plan anything. I just, go." Listen, they have routines in place. So stop it. Don't act like you don't. You have combinations that you do. Some of them, and I say it respectfully and with love, you can tell time by how they play. Because you know that when they play this song is coming. And nothing wrong with that, but I'm just saying. I just we're clicking on so many levels. I totally believe in preparation. I believe in preparation. And one last thing too. So I just booked another class reunion. Now, I know these people, I know what they do. But I want to make sure that while I'm playing, I don't miss that class favorite or that song that I had I was doing a class in 1964 from Manchester High School.
That's Friday. I just have to.
And let's just say they're on the other side of the tracks, especially back then. So this guy comes over to me and asks me for this song by Little Anthony and the Imperials. I forgot it was, but it wasn't, one of his top hits. And it was one of those in the secret, in the secret songs in the corner in the back, but it had a special meaning to him and his little crew back then. So what I did was I played that song, And I got to tell you, that instantly produced a $20 tip for me. Now, was I happy with that? I said, anything else you want? But the point is, that's homework. So I just had to just reemphasize that and say that over again. Homework is key. And if again,
you know what, Dan, what you're saying, I would say probably 20-25% of gigs happens at all gigs, even on our side of the tracks.
Right.
So it's to me, it's okay if somebody comes up and asks for a song, you listen to it, it sets the dance floor on fire. You know that's going into the hot cricket.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So that's fine. You know what also make me think about what you're saying is how I'm used to hearing folks say, I don't take no requests, da 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 da. And you know what? Do you? However you want to do your business, do your business as a DJ. It gets to a point there's no right and wrong. I think what we just all need to do, once we're done with a gig, hopefully you're doing some self-assessment. Like for me, I always send a thank you as a final closeout to my clients and ask for feedback. So like I said, if some people be like, oh Kev, you be out there a lot and you're on it. I can tell you right now, for everybody who's listening, Kevin McAlister does not hit over the fence every time he goes out. And when I don't, I learn from those as best I could. So I'm trying to get to the point where I can hit it over the fence. I may not get there, but I'm going to try.
Yeah.
Thank you for your honesty.
Fantastic.
I love that. Thank you. Keep it real.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now,
Yes.
Absolutely.
do you have any final thoughts, words of wisdom or advice for aspiring DJs, or just for DJs, period? Any
No, always stay with the homework and the learning. It never stops. Things are going to change. I mean, we got guys who kind of go at it on social media or say something about the equipment you're using. As long as you got good quality sound, I don't care if you're back there with 2 tape decks from the 1980s, a couple closing plays. The people who you're playing for don't give to. We get into the sync button. Who the hell cares? The sync button doesn't pick the records and don't say when you should put it on and take it out.
Right.
We need the hell with all that.
Right.
Just try to impact the crowd as best you could. That's it.
Right.
I don't care how you do it.
Right.
Words of wisdom from DJ Kevin McAlister, ladies and gentlemen. Words of wisdom.
Yeah. Think about your clients. It's not always about just trying to appeal to a fellow DJ. Because DJs hire DJs 1% of the time. 99% of the time or more is non-DJs who are hiring you. You got to business wise, you got to balance that out. That makes sense.
Well, just a really, really good point again you made here is that it's rare that another DJ hires. Now many times they have things. So like I have CDJs, all right, but I got to tell you something. Those things are heavy. I mean heavy. When you put bring it out, because I have them in a coffin, but that stuff is heavy. So, and I've never once had a client come to me and say, Dan, I notice you're not playing on CDJs. What is that? And I call it my to-go system. And they never said to me, hey Dan, what are you playing on? By the way, now, I know what you're thinking, and don't say it out loud. What's a 4-letter word that starts with S?
Okay.
Sync. I know that's what you were thinking.
S-Y-N-C or
okay.
S-Y-N-C.
Okay, give us another one, Dan, please. Then again, never mind. But again, it's too many good points here. Look, and granted,
maybe if you have what's worked for you and you've mastered it, and you're making your clients happy and they're loving what you're doing.
I can barely hear you, Dan.
I said, if
Thank you.
Okay, I said if you're what you're playing on, as long as it sounds decent. I mean, you can't have it. Can't have that. But you don't have to worry about it so much now because of the records. You don't use them anymore. But as long as your client is happy, you're connecting with your clients and their audience. That's what really, really counts in the end. So
no, I agree with you. I think there's certainly in addition to that, because yes, they're the number ones. I mean, anybody who's running a company will tell you they have to be concerned about their clients and their compliance demands about what they're looking for, right? But there's certainly there are also business partnerships that businesses have. DJs, we have business partnership with other DJs. We can learn from each other. There are some things that they're doing, that they're sharing, that you can pick up on. But again, just make sure you balance that out. Sometimes those other DJ business partners can be overreaching in terms of trying to push you to do something that probably doesn't make sense and not in your best interest as far as your clients.
Got you. Absolutely.
I'm not saying there's basically like some kind of procedure that's written down, a Bible, if you will, of here are the do's and don'ts. But you got to just be, try to always stay aware and figure that out. Like always think about, well, what does the client want? What do they expect? And sometimes it gets real simple with clients because it becomes common. If you turn in your party out, you're winning.
Yeah.
House music, not house music. If you're turning the party out, you're winning. If you consistently do that, you're winning.
You're winning.
Other DJs can help you in terms of bettering your system, ways to hook your system up that's easier, less effort. There's definitely technology out there that you could use that lessens how much effort you put in to get set up, break down, and go from gig to gig.
Right. But hey, in the end, it's you and that client, you and that audience. So this is all. Listen, Reverend Kevin, this sermon is. I mean, you really, really shared on some serious jewels. I mean.
Oh no, I and if you've seen any of my videos, I don't mind sharing because here's another industry, DJing, that us black folks have created. I'm telling you, the white guys are excelling in it like it's ridiculous. They take full advantage of technology. So I don't mind putting out videos, and I'm talking about, and a lot of people do hit me up and ask me some further questions. Like, I'll give you just one quick example. Instead of bringing in a full system into a wedding ceremony, because you'll never play more than 5 songs, here is your iPad or your phone to a battery-powered speaker, and it's wireless. It's that simple.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely.
So, and I've had pushback where, I want to bang out. I want to be able to bang. I want to be able to feel the music when I'm playing at the ceremony. I'm like, at a ceremony? Really? At a ceremony?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Right. Well, this is.
Say at a house set ceremony, definitely.
Well,
I haven't seen. You know what? You got me there, Annette, because I've never seen one of them.
Yeah.
I'd like to see that. It would be my ceremony.
Okay.
Your ceremony is going to be a house music ceremony?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
You're going to feel the bass.
Okay.
So like you told me 40 minutes ago, please extend the invite.
Yeah, to go.
You got it, Kevin. You got it. You got it.
I could hear it. Anyway. Well, folks, we're at the end of the wire. We're right down to the wire. Going to come in for a soft landing. If people want to support you, keep up with you, stay connected with you, how do they do it?
Well, my social media, $ DJ Kevin McAlister.
Okay.
Dan didn't catch that.
Yes, I did. Catch out.
Slick Kev. Fuck that.
not going to say me too. But Dan Shiver.
But no, you can hit me up, DJ Kevin McAlister, Facebook, Instagram. Yeah, you can catch me in those two places.
Now you spell your name a little bit differently. In other words, you have MC in capital A, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
All right. So.
Oh, also let me mention my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel is out there under DJ Kevin McAlister. So actually, a lot of events that I do, I put small snippets of my work that I've done at various events, and I share that with my clients as kind of my marketing when I'm talking to them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's fantastic. Hey, Kevin, I just want to give
yes,
Marcus
my invite
a big shout out because he's the one who came to say, "Oh, we need to get Kevin. We need to get him." So we talked about it a little bit, and I said, "Let's do it." Anyway, so I just want to give him a big shout out because he's the one who set it up and made this happen. So, hey, Kevin, thank you. $ Kevin. I just want to say thank you so much for coming and sharing with us.
No, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. All right, Lorena.
All right, guys. You guys have a good one.
All right. Take care.
Thanks.
Kevin, thank you.
Uh-huh. All right, then. Bye-bye. Okay, folks, there we have it. We're going to go into the Shazam free zone. We're going to play nothing but brand new music. And I'm just going to ask you to hang out with us if you want to hear stuff that it's not in rotation at this point. It's all brand new stuff. And you can decide, we're going to play it and say it, and then you get to decide whether you like it or not. Only thing I would say to you is this. If by any reason you don't like it, don't go by this first time of hearing it. How many times have you heard a song multiple times, or you heard it in the right environment, or you heard it played by the right person? Or you say, wait a minute, hold it. I'm feeling that. So join us for the Shazam Free Zone, and we're going to play all brand new music, and I'll see you in a little bit then. All right. Chag. Here we go. We're going to play it safe.